A chitter chatter better than the Mad Hatter. I bet you buy shit on my platter. Got the data, turn your body into antimatter. And just like a piece of sizzling, you'll fit inside my stomach with the eggs and grits between. The king is what I mean. My man, get a cup and put some change inside your hand. Now hold up, let's make this official. Everybody disagrees that MCs need a tissue. The folks my only issue. I bet your mama miss you, and I bet the Mac take off like an MX missile. No more you whining on the chart climbing as I make the phone kicking out more harder than a diamond. And if you didn't know who's right, I guess I'm gonna sing Craig Mack with perfect time. You won't be around that shit. My rap's the big, kicking mad flavor in your head. Here comes the brand new flavor in your head. Time for new flavor in your ear. I'm kicking new flavor in your ear. Back to brand new flavor in your ear. Craig Mack, 1,000 degrees. You'll be on your knees and you'll be burning dragons leaves. But the freeze, man, who's rooted in deep-rooted folks, smoking leaves and brains rooted. What's bad MC? With stamina like Rooster, the winner takes of MCs for dinner. You're crazy like that glue. That thing that you can outdo my 1-2 that sing like the flu. Shake it down, boy. I flip boy all the time. Because boy, probably give you an 8 worth the time. Seems like there's no competition in this rap word expedition. You come around and knock you out position. Knock them out. No blame can ever dig a grave. Both the back, power black and black make you see back rap. And here comes a brand new flavor in your head. Back to brand new flavor in your head. Here comes a brand new flavor in your head. Time for new flavor in your hair. I'm kicking new flavor in your hair. Back to brand new flavor in your hair. Here comes a brand new flavor in your hair. Time for new flavor in your hair. I'm kicking new flavor in your hair. Back to brand new flavor in your hair. Here comes a brand new flavor in your hair. Time for new flavor in your hair. I'm kicking new flavor in your hair. Back to brand new flavor in your hair. Here comes a brand new flavor in your hair. Time for new flavor in your hair. I'm kicking new flavor in your hair. Back to brand new flavor in your hair. Back to go with more hope than the Pope, but for MCs more knots than rope. I'd like to break it down, breaking, forsaken laws of MC shaking with this track that my man's making. MCs will run like a bomb threat, I bet, or better yet, make you sweat, getting hotter than the sun gets. Straight back is the flame that drops from here to that. I break all rules with my action, that the actions the MCs start relaxing. This brand new sheriff that's in town, getting down, leaving bodies buried in the ground. I set up rhymes for a decoy down for bad boy, watch the MC not destroy. And here comes the brand new flavor in your ear. Flavor in your ear. New flavor in your ear. I'm kicking new flavor in your ear. Back to brand new flavor in your ear. Here comes the brand new flavor in your ear. It's time for new flavor in your ear. I'm kicking brand new flavor in your ear. Back to brand new flavor in your ear.
All right, lovely people. Good morning, and welcome to Shop Talk with Mel. Yes, we got a great show planned for you today. I'm super duper excited. We up here, we down with the history makers. Down with the history makers in the building. Today's guest is the first Black female. I can't even pronounce it right. Hold on. What is it? a brewer. She's assistant brewer. Am I saying it right? Help me out.
Brewery, yeah.
It's a brewery. It's a brewery. But she gonna help us out.
Yeah.
She gonna help us out real quick. Yeah, she gonna help us out right quick. All right, Amber D. Okay, so you had the knots.
Yes. And this is I don't care. You can't see it too good. This is the result. It's really
The Bantu knots.
Yes.
Okay, so for the listening audience out there, the Bantu knots is where you like twist your hair up. You can have like about 6 or 7 knots. Google it and see what it is. And Amber then took it out to show everybody what it looks like after when you do it on dreads.
Yeah. So it's really, if you're not a fan of like waves, it's like very, very soft. Like just a tiny bit of something. At least that's how it turns out my hair. I don't do the knots really tight either because I'm very scared of traction alopecia. So they're kind of loose. I would do them loose, so they're much softer. But that's how it turned out.
Okay, she afraid of the alopecia. Don't let Chris Rock be around. Say nothing about.
Oh God!
Well, won't start no trouble up in here, okay? All right, Nick, what's happening? What's going on, girlfriend?
Everything and nothing.
Girl, it be something. You just trying to keep it quiet. She don't want to share. she don't want to share.
Something, but listen, I had my moment. I'm back. My crown is back adjusted. I'm
Okay.
back on my pedestal.
Okay. I ain't mad at you for that one at all. Not at all. I'm trying to get this thing right for me here. Okay, I think I'm right. All right.
You
Halfway in and halfway out.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, listening audience. I'm trying.
Yeah. Little off.
Is that better?
Right there.
There.
Well,
Nope. It went back.
That's hilarious. All right, I should be good.
Yeah, it's still a little bit cockeyed, but
Hey, listen. I don't have my people here no more, and I'm feeling some type of way.
yeah, you know it's kind of hard when you having the studio from home and you don't have all your work.
I don't have my people. Man, I miss it down there. I do. Like, dang. But everybody living their lives and became entrepreneurs, and I ain't mad at them at all. Okay? All right, so today's topic is, we talking colors. Colors, lovely lady, colors. You know what I'm saying? We you heard, I think, who was it? Saucy Santana was talking about Beyonce's baby. Then they brought little what's the little baby's name? Blue Ivy, and talking about her hair. Who talks about a baby? Then you had where the Cocktails with Queens was talking, and they were bringing up little Bella, Stevie J's chick, the daughter, was Jocelyn's daughter, and they talked about her hair. Why? But we gonna get into that, okay? We gonna get right into that. I want to bring our guests on right now because Hannah got the beverages, honey. Hannah got the beverages, and she is gonna give it up and let us know what's really going on. I wanted to put all of this out here because a lot of people don't realize that. And if you're just tuning into the show, today's guest is none other than Hannah Ferguson. I got to put her name out there. The first Black female to own a cidery in Ohio as well. A cidery in Ohio as well, which is like the bomb.com. So let's give her a warm Shop Talk welcome. Hey, Hannah, listen, let me share this with you, and I don't think that you've ever known. I would see Hannah out and about because, I'd be roaming. That's what I do. I'm a people watcher. And I would see her out and about, and she was always helping somebody else. And it appeared like you were trying to just chill and just lay back, but you stood out. So I'll say that. I think you was helping somebody with some candles at this, and this was a long time ago. And I was like, I see her everywhere with everybody. What's really going on? I was like, okay. Then I'm reading an article. Here's this face again. I was like, oh, snap. She's sitting there. When they say you move in silence. She moving in silence, making big deals, okay? Big deals. So when I was reading it and it had that, in the article, an assistant brewer.
I heard you guys trying to say that. That was funny.
Yeah, like, no, wait, so what is the right way? What's the right way?
But it's when people mess up, then I start messing up. But it's brewer
Okay.
and brewery.
Okay.
So, but yeah. But I was like, oh man, I was like, now I'm not going to be able to say it. It's about to be hard.
Brewer, okay. How does it feel breaking ground like that?
It's kind of like a lot of like mixed emotions. Like right now, it's like exciting, and then it's like overwhelming, and then it's like, you know, you have fear, you kind of have like all of that all into one. So, but you know, it's going. Like I've been working on this for like the past like 5 years now. So, it's getting there.
It's getting there. Okay. Well, we're going to bring it back and then we're going to come forward. Did you know that you were the first Black female to be a brewer first?
No. Actually, like I didn't, like I worked for one of the local breweries here for about 2.5 years. And it wasn't until like probably like a year and a half in that we were like, we were questioning because like I would go around like, you know, different events throughout the state, locally, and like obviously, and also too in the craft beer scene, you don't really see many people that look like us in general. So, but surprisingly, like the beer community, the Black beer community is actually pretty big, but we're spread out. We're very spread out. So, but like, I just started to just ask around, like, hey, are there like any like Black female brewers? Because in the state of Ohio, like, there's an organization called Pink Boots, and it's like supports like women in craft beer. But even like with all the different chapters and that, like, I see the pictures, and I was like, still don't see like anybody look like me. And so I just started asking around, and I like reached out to the director of the Ohio Craft Brewers Association. And I asked her flat out, I was like, hey, we promote like women and beer and stuff like that. Are there any Black female brewers here in Ohio? And she thought about it, and like, cause it's like a little over 600 breweries in Ohio, craft breweries in Ohio. And so she was like, I can't think of any. She's like, but I'm gonna reach out. And like, so we just kept putting like the research out there, and no one came back and say like, hey, we've had like a Black female brewer, or we know somebody. So like, someone just put it out there one day, like in an article, they were like, hey, we're just gonna say you're the first Black female brewer in Ohio, and we'll see if anybody kind of like
be like,
like, hey. So no one has come out and said anything in like almost 2 years. So it was like, I am the first Black female professional brewer in the state of Ohio. But like, you know, my background previously, I just got very intrigued by beer, so I wanted to learn more. But I've been a home winemaker for about 10 years now. So my goal was always to like kind of like open up like my own winery and things like that. But then, like, you know, I fell into beer and just my curiosity, just wanting to learn it. And then I got the opportunity to become an assistant brewer. So, and you know, it worked out in my favor because I got to learn so much about, like, you know, just a different part of the industry. And then with me opening up now, like I said, it was like 5 years in the works. With me opening up the cidery, I'm now the first Black-owned cidery in the state of Ohio, and I will be only the second nationwide.
Yeah, hey! I read that. Look, I did my research. Now I'm gonna do that. If I don't do nothing else, I'm like, okay, wait a minute. So, okay, winemaking, winemaking, cidery. Okay. I don't want to negate the important part that you said when you were talking about you went into brewer being, oh God, there I go again, an assistant brewer.
Yeah.
So you said you were making wine for 10 years. Help me understand. making wine for 10 years, and then there was an opening. You saw a job opportunity to learn more, so you applied?
It actually wasn't even that. It was like I met the two owners, the husband and wife, and me and the wife happened to be part of this leadership cohort in Ohio. We were a part of this cohort together. And kind of how like we got on it, like we would have to do retreats for this cohort. She would bring beer, I would bring wine, and then we just started talking like when we were on these retreats. And then she was like, "Hey, we're opening up Modern Methods Brewing in Warren. You should come out and check us out." They hadn't even opened yet, like when we first discovered this. And she was like, "You should just come check us out." And I was like, "All right." So then I came and checked them out, and I finally met her husband at an event at the Wien Foundation here, and I met him and we talked, and I got a tour, and again, they still weren't open yet, but they were in the process of like making their beers and getting their products stocked up for opening. So a couple times throughout this process and after they opened, they had invited me out for brew days. So I would come out and help them brew if it was like, and just that, I was just helping, volunteering. I got to, drink some beer, and learn about the system and the process of making beer, and really truly finding out that it's nothing like making wine. Is more science to making beer. And then like 6 months later, their assistant brewer that they had before, his full-time job, he worked for GM. So he actually got transferred to Nashville when they closed the Lordstown plant. And then he just called me. They just called me and was like, "Hey, we have an opening. Would you want to come work here?" And I immediately said yes, because like it's just a fun job, and I love doing that. And like I said, it gave me the experience, and then I got basically just submerged in the industry from there, and here we are.
It fell in your lap.
Yeah, it really did. And it's just me. Like, I was laughing when you said you just saw me, like, always helping somebody.
I did.
What I was doing, like, in the beginning. I was like, oh, helping. And I was like, oh, I get a free 6-pack of beer. Or get a drink. So I was just happy, like, just helping out. And then, but that, I was learning along the way. So
that is awesome. You took advantage of the opportunity.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of us need to do. Take advantage of the opportunities that's presented. But you got to talk to people. Otherwise, you wouldn't have known. That's
you're correct. I like to be behind the scenes. So this being like kind of like up front, and then people like you like asking me to be on their podcast, do this interview. It's hard for me. So it's breaking me, in a sense, out my comfort zone. So
well, very good. I was like, okay, I'm telling you, I'm flipping through. I was like, there she is again. Wait. And I was like, I know her, but I don't know her. I was like, I see her everywhere, and I'm reading through. I was like, this is all right. I was so freaking excited. I was so freaking excited. I got to tell you a quick funny story. My neighbor, I used to see all these containers and beer stuff all outside. Not that I'm like a vagabond or a garbage pail digger. But we put our Nick, it was like Thursday night was trash night. Mm-hmm. So I'm going over, then I'm looking, I was like, oh man, this guy, he just bought the house though, right next to me, because it was for sale. And I'm looking, I was like, oh man. I was like, my neighbor is an alcoholic. Everything. Then he ended up being a professor at YSU. And that wasn't the case at all. So once I communicated with him, we were talking, he was getting ready to leave because nothing was popping off here for, his major. And then he said that he makes beer in his basement. And he had this whole, I felt like I was at the bar. I was like, wow. It was like a whole operation. And when I was like, I got to be honest, so I told him, he laughed so hard his mother was laughing because she came with him. I think they was like from Oklahoma or something like that. And non-melanated. So I was like, oh, they about to have wild parties. I got it all in my head like, I'm about to sell this house. Like, nope. I'm not about to deal with it. So once I learned a little bit about from him, but I want to ask you. You said cidery. Cider in my mind, are we talking like, your apple cider?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty much cider is I just hope they do. Cider is like people often think cider is beer, but hard cider is actually not beer. It falls under the wine category because you just truly just ferment you just ferment fresh pressed apple juice, fresh pressed cider. You ferment it, and when I mean fermenting, you just add yeast to it. The yeast eats pretty much all the sugar in the cider, and that's what converts it into alcohol. So I don't know if anyone has ever bought like apple cider from a local farm, possibly left it on their counter or just left it in their fridge too long, and then you open it up and it gets a little fizz. It's actually all fruit already has like natural yeast inside of it. So the longer it sits, it will start naturally turning into alcohol if you just leave it. So it's pretty much that process. It's like once you add your own yeast to it, and it speeds up that alcohol process. So with cider, it only takes about 2 weeks before it turns into alcohol and is ready to drink. And you can just let it sit there. Some people truly let it sit there a little bit longer, let it clear up. But the process that like a lot of people now do is like if you drop the temperature in your like fermenting tanks, you drop the temperature, it'll kill the rest of the yeast and all the juice will clear up. So sometimes if you see a hard cider or something that's very clear, you can see through it. And same thing with wine. Wine is usually typically dark and fuzzy before it's truly fermented and clears up, that you can see through it, especially the whites. So it's pretty much that. Like I said, like you can accidentally make hard cider on your own at home, just have it sit on the counter. But that's the process is, like I said, it's really easy. But it falls under the wine category because it's just fruit juice to fermentation. And then you carb it up similar to beer. So that's how you get the bubbly, the carbonation in it.
All right. Now, in my mind is going. And I had to tell you the reason I went to the cider is because I had an apple tree and my apples was missing. And I'm like, what the neighbor doing? What the heck? But you telling me on New Year's Eve every year with these little people that's grown of mine, these children, I'm like, yeah, let's pop the cider. It's apple cider. I had the babies getting lit.
You could possibly there's some like if it's like the I think the Marietti's and I think Welch's has their version. Those are non-alcoholic.
Okay.
I didn't good.
Okay.
Good if it was that. Those are non-alcoholic. They're very good, but they are non-alcoholic.
Okay, I'm sitting there like,
Yeah.
Well, look how I'm teaching them, bring in the new year at church, and they be like, turn up when we get to the house and give them apple cider. And I like to be prepared, so of course it's sitting out for like 2 to 3 weeks.
You're safe with that. But like I said, if this fall, if you go to like White House Farms or something and grab you a gallon, if you leave it on the counter, just leave it on the counter for like 2 weeks, and then you're going to open it up and it's going to fizz, and you're going to be like, hey, it's starting to ferment, and you're making alcohol.
And I'm thinking, like, that's the purest, and it tastes really good, and I'm off right now. I have gone, the days have passed. I hope I wasn't at work lit. Like when I'm, you said, like, I'm like, because I like apple cider, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get some apple cider, the real apple cider. And I said like White House Farm because everybody likes that place, so no shade to them, shout them out. Oh man,
it could be like it's a possibility, but it'll be like very, very low. And if you caught it in time.
Okay, that's probably how I was getting through the 12s.
Possibility to truly turn into alcohol.
Okay, y'all heard it, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure y'all get something to say non-alcoholic if you trying to be like the fun mom to be like, oh, all right, this is what we gotta
Yeah.
do, and pretend you have wine. How often was that? Because I remember being younger too. I'm gonna have to holler at my mother. I'm like, let's see what's really going on here. You know, I'm thinking like, I'm like, oh no, I don't drink. Be like, you was drunk your whole life. You know, drinking apple cider, didn't even know. Like, what's going on? I want to talk about your cidery.
Mm-hmm.
And you opened, was it 21?
Well, it's opening. It's been a process. The original date was we were trying to shoot for like end of fall 2021, and now I'm looking to open next month officially. Like,
Okay.
I'm actually down here right now. I have some things getting hooked up, like kind of just mainly finalizing a lot of things, but it's taken that long. It's just with still the aftermath of the pandemic, parts still not coming in. The cost of everything has shot up from like the original price when I originally signed the lease to now. Everything has like almost like doubled or tripled in certain things.
Wow.
But it's definitely gonna open next month. I was like, I need to start making some money. So,
Okay.
yeah. So I'll be looking to do like mid to end August to open. So.
All right. Dope. You already know. That's been the talk. Dope, cider, and winery. Now, I know it depends on which area you came up in, but like, that's dope.
Yeah.
We changed the narrative. And then you have the other one. Can you explain to the listening audience what DOPE, dope, is an acronym for?
Dope. I like you said, we changed the narrative of the word dope, and it kind of faded away, but it was like one of those words that probably truly never went away, and the meaning and about it. So it's like when I was looking to start to go into entrepreneurship, I knew I wanted my business to be called Dope, but I needed it to stand for something, and so I knew it had to be like an acronym. So my brother actually came up with the acronym for me. I was like, hey, I got Dope. It has to be positive. It has to be something positive. And he like called me back, and like 5 minutes later, and he was like, dwelling on positive energy. And I was like, perfect. So it
only took him 5 minutes?
Yeah. My brother, he's an artist. He's a poet. He's very great with words. He writes. And that's why I was like, he was the first person I went to. Like, I give credit to, I wanted the word dope, and I had positive. So he gave me the other, but yeah, he said rolling on positive energy, and that's kind of how I lead everything that I do. That's how I lead it, with positive energy and everything around me, the people I hang with, the whole vibe. It definitely has to be positive and supportive, and that's what I wanted to express with my brand, and anything that falls underneath it, especially with the cidery, because I did get some slack from some people, like dope, why are you calling it dope? I was like, but this is what it means, and if you don't like the name, I'm okay with it. That's fine. Not everybody's gonna like
Boom!
it. Like, not everyone's gonna like it, but I know this is what I like, this is what I'm building, and this is what I'm going with. So here we are. Because I did have somebody tell me from like the business center, he was like, I don't like your name. I was like, dude, you're supposed to be helping me try to like
Talk about discouragement. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
You're supposed to be helping me, and then you just telling me how you don't like my name. I'm just like, well, you just got to get over it.
I know that's right.
Yeah, so and it's like, and then it's like a lot of people especially like it, especially when they say it. Then they'll just say, then they find out like, oh, you're the owner, you're the cider maker, or you brew beer. They're like, oh, that's dope. And then they look, they're like, see, and it catches on, and I just laugh. And then once they also too, when they find out the meaning of dope, they love it even more. And that's what
it's a whole vibe.
Express, and pretty much both my logos that I have for the cidery and for my original logo, they all have a heart, and that's pretty much what it is. Like, I do everything with my heart, and that shows in my work and the things that I put out. So, and So and I love it. Like I said, the original logo spells out dope, but it's in the shape of the heart. And then the Cider House logo is a heart for the letter O, but it has like kind of like rings in it. And then the person who made it, he's like, the cool thing about this, you could always change the colors if you want to represent whatever holiday it is or something. And I was like, yeah, people's heart changed, like good, bad to good. I was like, and I like, I kind of went with that too. I played with that. I was like, that you can change the colors. So that's what it is. I was like I said, like you can't please everybody, but it's like it's definitely a deeper meaning to dope than just the word.
Okay, I like it. Because that's what I said when I was reading the article. I was like, that's dope, and then when I was reading it, I was like, man, the first Black female brewer, I was like, she go hard, that's what's up. Because when you think beer, this is me, when I think beer, I'm like, okay, and we know usually that appeal to more of the men. Mm-hmm. But if you see a chick up there, what?
Yeah.
You were like
it's very surprising. There's a lot of female beer drinkers. And I always tell people, like, you may not like beer, but also our community, we were given and sold in our stores some really bad beer. Like that beer, a lot of people don't like. But craft beer is completely different. It's like so many styles, so many flavors.
Wait, what kind of beer?
Craft beer.
Craft, okay. I'm like, wait a minute, not did she say craft? She didn't say craft.
Yeah, craft.
Craft, okay. All right, go ahead.
So many styles, so many different flavors, I feel like some people I just honestly feel like some people may not have just found like their style of beer that they like, but I would never give you, if you are wanting to learn or you wanting to, try different beers. My first beer to hand you, I wouldn't hand you like a Bud Light or a Steel Reserve or anything like that. Like I would give you something like, hey, I would try to see like, what do you like to drink and kind of play off that. And then typically we can find a beer style that would suit you, but also too, like over the years, your palate changes. Like the palate grows and it becomes like interesting in trying new things, because there's a style of beer called an IPA that I used to hate IPAs. Now that's like one of my favorite styles to drink is an IPA. Even with wine, I used to only like sweet wines. Now I will choose like a Malbec or a Merlot or a Pinot Noir or something dry, because I was like, hey, my palate has changed and advanced and grew over the years. So like you may go into something only liking one thing, but the more and I always tell people to try, to sample. Don't be afraid to experience something, because you never know. You will like it, and then it'll open you up to different things. So.
Okay, what type of vibe is dope giving? Like if we came in to visit.
I like to say dope will it'll be like a coffee house feel with a happy hour vibe.
Okay.
So it's like I said, like I'm doing like some of the final touches with everything. It's gonna be, a couple table seats. My space is not that small. It's like a little under 2,000 square feet, and that's with production space and tap room seating space. So it's going to be some couches, table seating, and, good music. I love R&B. So like things like that, like a nice mixture of hip hop and R&B, not playing too loud, but just keeping that, that vibe that, like we like to say, grown and sexy, whatever. But I want you to be able to come in at any time. If you want to come in and do work on your laptop, I want you to be able to do that. And I kind of just got that feeling I remember I used to go downtown a lot and just go to a bar because I wanted to have a drink, but I wanted to be out. But then I also wanted to read my book. And so in a lot of places you can't go. I was not huge into coffee and stuff like that. So I'm like, I don't want to go to Barnes & Noble and sit at Starbucks and, just to read my book. But I would go and sit at the bar, open up my book and read it. And people would look at me and like, I was like, it was odd. And it was very odd. So I wanted to kind of like run with that and give someone a space that if you want to come and read a book, but have a glass of wine, or if you want to have a glass of cider, you can do that and be able to work and, do whatever you need to do, but just be comfortable without worrying about people looking at you or thinking you're doing something weird or extreme. So
I like that. And when you were explaining it to me, I had my own vision in my head. You heard me say my own, not yours.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, I could see like it might be a spoken word night up poetry, that whole thing. And that's the vision. I don't know what it looks like in the inside, but I seen your description. You're pretty good. You should be a writer. Because in my mind, I just see like wood. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what it looks like. I don't. I'm going to come see it, though.
It's coming together. I would give y'all a sneak peek, but it's kind of rough. I was just getting my floors sanded yesterday. And it's
see, didn't I say wood?
Yeah. So,
that sounds like a good vibe. And I'm the type of person, even when I was at Youngstown State, they had a coffee house. And what I liked about it that was there, I can't study in peace. I'm just that person. I'm like, I need noise. I need things going on. And then I'll do it. Boom. I'll talk to somebody. I'll go back. I'll be reading my book. I hear the music in the background. And I used to have my headphones on even as a kid. I would have my headphones on and be reading a book like, oh, I got a test tomorrow. But I had to have surrounding sounds. So I'm excited for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I truly am. Now, somebody told me that with cidery, you have to have a license?
Yeah. So you basically just get the wine license for the state of Ohio to make it. So it's just anything like when you make alcohol, you have to be licensed with federally and in the state. So I got approved through my state license about a month ago. No, actually end of April, and they just literally sent me the physical permit. Yes, 2 days ago.
Okay,
it took that long, but
wow! From when? From
April 29th when I got my approval. From April 29th to you, and you still can't. Even though you get approved from your inspection, you still have to wait till the paper comes in, and the paper just came in 2 days ago.
Yeah. Oh, that's why I was like, wait, where are we? I'm like, I gotta look at the calendar. Where we at? July?
Yeah, it just came in 2 days ago, in the mail. And I was like, that was with me calling like almost every day and doing things like that. But it's here, and I think everything happens in its right timing. So I'm not gonna rush the process. I appreciate this extra time that I've had, like I said, but I'm looking to open up next month and get rolling.
That is awesome. Now, is there like some contact information?
Pretty much like my website, I'm working on it. So, but hopefully it should be up in the next week or two. But it's dopethebrand.com. But then I do a lot of like my activity that I have is on Instagram. So it's Dope the Brand on Instagram as well. And I put everything pretty much on there that I'm doing, or that I have coming up, or like pictures of like the construction and things like that to follow. But if anybody wants to follow me, you can follow me on there. Also, like I said, my website, it should be up in the next week or two. And so that's where you can see me.
Okay, look at me. I didn't put that in there. I was wanting it to go, but it didn't. But they'll be able to look at that too, though, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I was, Dope Cider and Winery, and it's dopethebrand.com. I'll make sure that I put that out there for the listening audience. Now, I do have another question.
Okay.
The taps with the beer. Okay. Now, you go, boom, you see it. What does that mean? Like, you have like 2 taps. I guess I seen 3, then 8, Yeah. Is it different stuff in there, or is that the run out?
Yeah, it actually is just like the tap is just a system that pours whatever's coming out, beer, cider, whatever. But like in the background that you don't see, some people have like a cold room. Some people may have a kegerator, but the kegs is attached to like hoses in the kegs. And and the product are in kegs, and it just comes out that way, and it's just called, pretty much the tap system. Taps is just the coin name for it, but those are usually things you won't see because they're either, like I said, they have to stay in a cold place, so they're in some type of refrigerated unit that's enclosed, covered up. Some places they're like the taps may come from the wall, but right behind it is the cooler unit, or you may have a separate unit like I'll have. It's like a refrigerator kegerator unit, and all the kegs are in there, and the taps are on top.
Okay. All right, I think the last one, and then I'm done. Any collaborations with any other, businesses or like?
Oh, yeah, I actually. So there is the first Black ever beer fest that happens in Pittsburgh. It's been going on for about 3-4 years now, where they take Black-owned breweries or home brewers still, or breweries in process, and we collaborate with breweries in Pittsburgh to put on this fest. But it's grown over the years to like basically bigger than that a lot of people want to be a part of this festival. It's called Barrel and Flow in Pittsburgh.
Oh, we going. Y'all coming? Because I'm going. Just with the name, Barrel and Flow.
Barrel and Flow. It's huge. It's bigger than beer. They have Black-owned distillery brands that come, wineries, everything. Like I said, it's grown just from beer. But my collaboration this year is with Angry Orchard. So myself and Angry Orchard, we are collaborating. We're doing a cider for the fest this year.
Awesome. I love it.
Okay, that's my drink. I want some of your stuff. Go ahead, girl. Go on, sis. That's what I'm talking about. Excellent.
Yeah. You guys got any questions? I don't want to just be hogging up. Don't worry about it. We love pets here. Go ahead.
Well, actually, I got a question because I have 2 apple trees in my yard, and I have 8 grapevines, and so I wanted to do. I don't know. Do you think that's enough to just for myself, to production wise?
Yeah, I think so, because you may, from kind of like how you described, you may be able to get 2 to 3 gallons from that. Especially like if you, with the apples, you pick them at the right time, like when they're ready to be picked, and get them pressed. It can probably maybe give you a lot more than that. As far as the grapes, it probably at least possibly 2 to 3 gallons, and you can definitely make something with that. Okay. So you can usually when I started off with 5 gallons of fresh pressed grape juice, and it can make up to close to 30 bottles of wine.
Wow.
And that's kind of how I got started. Selfishly, wow. I was like, hey, I can get this many bottles of wine and only spend this much money, and then you can reuse your wine bottles. So it wasn't like I had to always buy new wine bottles all the time. And so it was kind of like that selfish type of thing for me. And then it just kind of just grew into this. But yeah, you can definitely get something from it. Do you know what type of grapes you have?
I actually have Concord, and then I have I think it's called Emerald King, but they're green. So I have red, green, and black.
Okay.
Do you still have them?
Yes.
Nice.
They're growing. They're doing good. They're getting, one's doing fantastically. The other ones are coming along. My apple trees are doing good. The squirrel's been tearing my.
That's why I was like, do you still have them?
The wildlife will be on them, but I also have 2 peach trees, and 2 pear trees. Okay, I'm into it. So,
yeah.
So I'm like, oh yes, I would love to learn more. Yeah.
Yeah, those will definitely. That sounds good, and you can also do something with those. You said you have pear trees too, as a big thing too. I haven't made one yet. They're called Perries. It's basically the same process as cider and wine. You just fresh pear juice, and they convert into alcohol. I've tried some amazing Perries, but I just haven't done it myself yet. But So and then you can also probably make a brandy with those peaches.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Didn't even think of that. But so when you started, you said you started at home. Did you just order your stuff or online or?
I got actually, it's a local, well, not really, it's about 20 minutes, Louisville Winery. I ordered my fresh pressed grape juice from them. They get their grapes in from wherever, either it's California, Italy, but they'll put out a list every year as to what they have. Then you just put in how many gallons you want to buy, but the minimum is 5 gallons a bucket. So I would just go in there and I get it, and it's already pressed juice already in the bucket for me, and I just bring it home. And they usually have everything there. If you need to buy like the carboys, if you need to buy the yeast, any nutrients to go in it, they have everything there. So a lot of cities, I'm not sure if you're located here or somewhere else, but it's just look for like local like wine shops or home brew shops. They carry everything that you need there, and a lot of them are very helpful. Because like when I first started, that's where I was getting a lot of my stuff from a local wine shop in Warren. And the guy he had been making it for 20 years himself, so he was very helpful. Any questions, any suggestions, and that's just how I kind of just built my inventory from there. But yeah, it's really, like I said, like it's really easy. I tell people it's really easy to make wine. You just need patience because it just takes time. Like you will be good to go typically with whites around like 3 months. For reds, anywhere between 6 months to a year. But even like if you bottle it at 6 months and you let it sit, it still gets better in the bottle too. Like when they say like wine gets better with time, it definitely does. But if you're like ready to drink like me, I go like, all right, let's go 3 months, 6 months, and then you're good to go.
I am so freaking excited. You have no idea. I really am. And here's the thing, because I was going to ask you, well, I don't like to ask people what's the key to their success. Mm-hmm. Hold on to your key because that's your key, but just invite us in. And you did just that by sharing, and it's like, but you have to actually do the work. People, listen clear. Yeah. You have to do the work.
Like, it's not, I've already had people reach out to me via email, like, hey, can you show me, I'm really interested in this. And again, it's just not, I think this industry is bigger than me. We are less than 1% in the beer industry, the cider industry, the wine industry, and these are multi-billion-dollar industries. And we're less than 1% of people of color in ownership. So it's not for me to keep this. If it's something that I can share and help, and then someone can grow and flourish. And it's like, it's like, even though like, I'm the first or something, you definitely don't want to be the last. We need to climb up, and I was like, and it's more things that we can grow in instead of just making it and opening up a shop. Like with beer, we need like pretty much the farmers, the people who grow the grains for the beer, the malts, the hops. I'm surprised you didn't say you had a hop farm or hops growing in your yard.
Right, she got everything.
Don't give me ideas.
It's huge because there's literally, I think, only maybe 2 Black-owned hop farms in the United States that I've ever heard of. Oh, wow. And so, but those are things, these are products that people also are making millions of dollars off of because this is what you need to make these products. And even people who are into science get into like yeast growing, like people, the next person who finds like a new yeast strand, those things help beer flavors, beer profiles, cider flavors, wine flavors. These are things that we aren't into that is just bigger than just, hey, just making things. And then actually, like I said, like you have apple trees, grapevines. We don't have many people who have a vineyard. And that's one of the things that I used to always think I had to have a vineyard to, to be able to make wine, but you don't. But it'd be cool if I can go buy some grapes from a Black-owned vineyard, and things like that, orchard. So it's like other aspects to this industry that we can grow and prosper in. And I know that we're losing out on a lot of money. So I encourage a lot of that too for people. Like, so if you start growing some hops, let me know.
Definitely. I have one last question. I don't know if we've already discussed it or not, but what is the address?
I was getting ready to ask that. So, but that's all right. You got it, Amber D.
I'm right on the east end of downtown Youngstown, 460 East Federal Street. Sweet beat, but you can't miss us. I'm right connected to Penguin City Brewing Company. This is where I'm leasing space from.
How convenient is that?
Wow.
It's an old warehouse, about 30,000 square feet, so it's huge. It's beautiful. Like I say, but you can't miss it. And Penguin City is currently open. They had their opening day last week, and then I'm looking forward to opening next month. So
I am excited. How awesome is that?
It's really cool. Yeah, it's definitely a cool thing.
That's wow. So you know what that means. What's important to me, everybody, if you know me, you already know parking is everything.
Yeah.
I will go to your event if you have parking. If you do not, don't look for me.
Can visit when I come back home.
She's
She's always looking for good beer. She's into the IPAs, and she's always trying to explain it to me. And I'm going, okay, that is her thing. So she is definitely watching now. I let her know about you. She will be visiting.
Yes, bring her on now, but there will be parking, Mel, so you'll be good.
Then I'm good. No parking, no mail. I'll call in an order. Do you do shipments?
That was gonna be my question.
Shipping? Well, shipping is a little bit more complicated, but I'm looking into it because there's a lot of rules, like especially with the post office, you're not allowed to ship alcohol. It's illegal to ship alcohol via the post office. But rules are changing. There's some legislations right now in the works because people are trying to get these things changed federally that we're able to do that. But it's something that I will be looking into once I open because a lot of people, they want to support and they may not be local. So it's definitely what I'm going to be looking into. So.
Okay. All right, that's good stuff. And you wait a minute now. You know I was stumped and stuck on you can't ship alcohol.
No, federally through the United States Post Office, you cannot. As far as UPS and FedEx and those places, I believe you can, but yeah,
they have to be able to because different places that get the wines and things.
Yeah,
because I'm getting ready to open up a business myself, and I'm going to be starting with vendors, but then I'll eventually have my own in-house catering and my own in-house bar.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to holler at you, sister.
Okay.
I'm going to holler at you.
All right.
Listen,
I'm here to help.
Thank you.
Whatever you do, don't pay anybody to do it for you because we can get you the information for free. That's one thing.
Listen.
A lot of people are like, "Oh, I'll do your LLC and they'll charge you this much," but
it won't
be so easy to do. Or EIN is free, so things like that. But no, if I can help, definitely I'll let you know. Like if you're opening in Ohio with the alcohol industry, just be prepared that they still are behind times. You still got to mail everything to them.
People out here want you. Wait. They want you to pay them to do an LLC.
Child, listen.
They do. They try to charge
$800 for me
for EIN, and I'm just like, the EIN is through the IRS and it's free. So a lot of people try to charge people to get for these services. And I always tell people like, it takes 10 minutes to do these things. I was like, I'll help you. Like I have 10 minutes that I could just be like, all right, let's do this. And
I know I liked you. Look. You see how long it took me to figure out this here computer thing to put the little banner across the bottom. I got it now. I'm like,
yeah. But it's like if you need help. But like I said, the state of Ohio, they're funny. But the Ohio Liquor Control, you have to mail everything to them.
Wow. Now I remember
liquor mail.
Now liquor license is different from cider and winery license.
Mm-hmm. A liquor license in Ohio is like an A1A license. It's a full liquor license. You're able to sell spirits, beer, wine,
everything. It's all inclusive.
So my wine license is it's a manufacturing license, so I can only sell what I make. With that license, and the same with breweries. Breweries that are open, they have a brewery license. They can only sell what they make. In Ohio, you can only, in order to sell more than that, you have to get an A1A license. But Ohio also doesn't like you to stack licenses. It's like a tier. They say it's a tier system. So even if I wanted, like, because I have this license, and if I wanted to open up, let's say, called like a bottle shop, it's a completely separate business, they don't allow that. It's because of the tier. So I would have to get rid of this license to open up a bottle shop, just if I wanted to, because I wanted to be able to sell other like Black-owned wines here and just get that wine license, that wine retail license, but I'm not allowed. So in order for me to do that, I would have to get a full liquor license in order for me to do that. But then, that's a
lot. No, I'm like, that's a lot.
And our county is limited in their liquor licensing and stuff like that. So,
okay. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. You said the county, so it's so many liquor licenses per county?
Yeah, and like we are already over because due to our population used to be, 100 plus thousand, and a lot of people still have their liquor licenses. A lot of people don't get rid of them. You can always keep them.
Okay.
Even if you're not even open, you can
keep renewing
it. Pay your license every year. So Mahoney County technically has more liquor license than people.
Wow, interesting. Now, how much, just a range, because I don't know if you got the hookup or not, how much would a like cider winery type license cost? Because I about know about the liquor license. Y'all got
a cider license to make cider license is less than $100. Yeah.
Look at her. Her wheels are turning.
Okay.
Her wheels are turning.
Yeah, to make your cider. The crazy thing is that technically, if you go online, it's $76 to apply for your wine license. It cost me $500 just to be open on Sunday.
Yeah,
just to be open on Sunday, I had to pay $500 a year just to be open on Sunday. And that's like your D6 license, and it's just for Sunday sales. And it cost me more than my full manufacturing license.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we know that you're open on Sundays.
Yes.
Look, so now we know that you're open on Sundays, which is cool.
Scenario, you were describing your space, and I was like, oh, I can see it. But instead of a bottle of beer, I was like, I have a wine, my book. I can people watch and read and sip my wine with some R&B in the background. I'm feeling it.
That's what I see. She gave a visual, a total visual. I was like, you should be a writer. I'm like, I saw it. Like I saw it. I usually do a fundraiser for those who know me, and it's the Mingle with Medicine Wine Sip. And I run a space for it. But now I know you had the wine.
Come on down.
Yes, see? Yes. Hey, I want you guys to check her out. You'll let us know when the grand opening is.
I will definitely let you know, yes.
Okay, Dope Cidery and Winery, 460 East Federal Suite B in Youngstown, Ohio. Listen, go down, support. If you want to donate to her vision, and I'm big on that, if you want to invest or what is it? Bless her business.
Please bless me.
You can go ahead and reach out the dope brand at gmail.com. And I'll have that information on the website as well and below. And just check her out. Hannah at Dope the Brand.
Yes.
I love that. Wait a minute, let me hold on. Dwelling on positive energy.
Exactly.
I'm feeling that. So if you're feeling down and you want to just feel positive, just go into the atmosphere and get the vibe. That's what it's all about, vibing.
Yes.
All right. Do you have a phone number for your place set up yet or no?
Not yet, but you can give me a call on my cell phone. Any questions? Area code 321-217-9521.
All right, 321-217-9521. I was so into the interview, I forgot to get people to call in number. I totally did. Oh, wait, I got a text, though. I did get a text. Hold on, let me look on here. Sorry. Okay, you didn't answer what set you apart aside from the other cideries and wineries. I think I can answer that one, but go ahead.
I mean, just being black female.
Oh, there you go.
But I think like more is like sometimes like I know me like when starting out in the industry like sometimes you feel kind of like you don't feel like you fit in when you go into wineries. Like, but this is just a place where everybody is welcome and everybody will feel comfortable. And this has been plenty of conversations and talks within the beer community and stuff is how to make people of color feel comfortable. And the breweries and things like that, they don't know how to do it. They think it's very complicated or it's hard. I was like, it's simple things. It could be the changing your music. It's like your questions when you have trivia. It's like, it's your representation of your bar staff or who you have working in there. It's like when you come in here, you're gonna see a mixture. It's like you're gonna probably see black females behind the bar pouring wine, serving cider, or have you. You're gonna, like I said, you're gonna have R&B, hip hop, something playing on the music. So that already sets me apart from everybody else. But again, it's like I just want you to be comfortable when you come in here. It's not. You're gonna be able. You probably gonna want to put your feet up on the table. You know.
But don't do that. listen. As black folks, we'll be like, okay, no, you don't go too far.
You don't go
Right. You don't put your feet on nobody's furniture.
Right. And then it'll be told, and it won't be like, hey, they have the table 6 have their feet on the table. Yeah. Well, you be coming up like, but then another guest will probably be like, oh,
like, put your feet down.
Yes.
Yes. I just add one thing. This is to the community. When she opened up, please be mindful because you have to tell some folks.
But you shouldn't.
They like to.
But you shouldn't, Nick.
Have to, but we already know with a lot of the establishments and the type of people that leave your drama at home.
Exactly.
This is the first black female winery, that just in Ohio, and then she's here right there in Youngstown. Please be mindful, community, because there's so much going on there right now, and some folks don't mind fighting and tearing up other people's stuff.
Well, who's doing that? Wait, whoa! I'm retracting that. Listen. I know Nick, the voice of the community, but I'm retracting that because I ain't even speaking that into existence. Okay, but watch this. I understand you got to let them know. But watch this. Watch this. Now I got the muter. Go watch this. Yes. Bind that to the pits of hell in the name of Jesus. I ain't even speaking that into existence because I am a firm believer of your community will find you.
Amen.
I am a firm believer of that because anytime that I actually have an event, I don't even have to say it because you already know what's about to go. You going to jail. I ain't talking to you. Yes. I'm not going to say, oh, what happened? I'm sorry. Your life is jacked up at this moment. Keep it at home. Stay at home. Now, here's the thing. You got great parking. I'm hype about the great parking. Look at the building back there. Okay.
Yes.
And when I said that I would answer that question as far as what set you aside from one of the listeners, you dope. That's it. Dope. I'm like, man, dwelling on positive energy. So we go keep it. And them other...
You guys are out this Saturday morning. It's a beautiful day. Like I said, I'm downtown on Federal Street. Penguin City Brewing is open right now. The Youngstown Flea is going on across the street.
Oh, okay.
Down there. We have this nice young black-owned food truck out here.
Nice.
It's called Gourmet Tray Sandwiches.
Wait a minute, what is it? It's what food truck? What they sell? Okay, gourmet. All right. Okay, so y'all got it going on. You muted. You're muted. I don't know what happened. You got muted somehow.
Sorry,
Okay,
I was like,
there
he
you go.
has vegan sandwiches, chicken. Like, it looks amazing. So I can't wait to try that.
Oh, we got to talk about that next on
I
this.
think he was one of the chefs at the bistro downtown. So,
Okay.
And so he has his own food truck now. So
that's exciting. Now, what's your hours?
Once I'm open, I'll be open Wednesday and Thursday from 4 to 9. Friday from 4 to 10, and then Saturday will be open from noon to 10, and then Sunday brunch time 12 to 5.
Okay, so Wednesday through Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Wednesday through Sunday.
At 4 o'clock.
I got to pay for that $500 license.
I heard that. So let's make sure that we do this. All right, we are talking Dope Cider and Winery. Dope Cider and Winery, 460 East Federal Suite B, Youngstown, Ohio. If you want to reach out, the phone number is 321-217-9521. And once she does that grand opening, her hours are 4 o'clock. Just remember 4 p.m. You know she's going to be there from Wednesday through Sunday. Can't go wrong there. And what did you say?
I'll be open at noon on the weekends, though.
Okay, noon on the weekends, 12 noon. Okay, so you can roll on out of church, go down, have a good vibe.
That's
There
a
you
vibe.
go. There,
By before Jazz in the Park is over, like.
yeah, you could do that. You definitely could. Look, but then listen, I ain't no parking. And Jazz in the Park, I'll be like, okay. I'm going where some parking is at. Thank you so much, Hannah, for coming on. You got it. You got it. You truly blessed us.
Thank you. Guys, have a good one.
You too.
Bye.
Hannah Ferguson. All right. Hannah Ferguson with Dope, dwelling on positive energy. Dope Cider and Winery. I am super excited. And let's give it up for, let's just give it up for female doing her thing. All right, I had to take that negativity off of there. I understand, Nick, because you're the voice of the people and you know they out there. But we don't even want to appeal to them. And you know when folks get drinks in them, and ain't no color. Look, ain't no color on no.
PSA out there.
But you know what though?
At home.
Watch this. The ones that get drunk, that like to show out, they don't look like us.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Well, okay. They don't look like us. Look, they mad because the place is closing. You know, I be having a problem like, why we gotta leave? Why we gotta leave? You know what I'm saying? So that's that thing. You know, she was speaking of like her workers that were there. Did you guys happen to see that Burger King worker in Atlanta had a whole bonnet on at work?
Oh, it's her last day, and the caption was, "They need me, I don't need them." I was like,
Man.
oh, gosh.
Who does that?
I guess when you just done, you don't care no more. That's
But
what the energy was. I don't care anymore.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
But I mean, and even if you going somewhere later, because you know some people feel like, okay, well, I got my bonnet on, I don't want my hair messed up for an event that you have later, but you are at an event, you at work. Take that mug off.
Why didn't they make her?
They probably want to fight.
Well, yeah, she looked like a fighter too.
Didn't she? Didn't she, Amber? I'm like, Amber, we going to your house and step on. Look, let's go. No, we ain't doing that because ain't nobody going to jail. No.
Or you going to jail or we both going to jail.
No, I ain't going to jail. See, that's where we differ.
I ain't going to jail.
I ain't going to jail. I'm not spending no unnecessary money. It's almost like, and this is my thoughts.
Send her home.
This is my thoughts. Even if I'm riding, I just got a problem with speeding, just giving people my money. That's just like jail. If I can avoid this situation, I'm not going to jail for you just because of my response. It's a waste of money that I don't have that I can bank. Okay? It's like, I ain't doing it. But hey, Amber, we would have had to sit there and be like, soon as she came and she did look like a fighter, soon as she would have said that, I'd have been like, okay, have a good day. Amber, step on them grapes. I'm on the way. Like, bring the peach out. I'm on the way.
Right, yeah.
Like,
I mean, I was actually gonna make my TikTok. I was thinking about doing it like, you know, the chinny bumps, the Bantu knots. Some people think that's very like either ghetto or like country bumpkin or very super ethnic, indigenous hairstyle. And it's
probably because Buckwheat had it, remember? Back in the day?
His were sticking out straight.
Well, he rolled it up. Remember they had
Lord. Well, you know, that was before my time.
Oh, that was, yeah, okay.
It was before my time.
Okay.
But some people think it's actually better to walk out in public with a bonnet over your chinny bumps instead of just having them out.
No.
And I think the bonnet looks worse than little Bantu knots.
It does, because bonnet means bed.
I always assume people's hair isn't done underneath.
Me too, because my first visual of a bonnet was, what was that, Little Red Riding Hood? Was that where the big, or was that the Three Little Pigs with the big bad wolf?
Bears.
Little Pigs.
Oh, yeah, the bears was Goldilocks.
Goldie.
No,
because she went and got in their bed.
No, those was the bears. I'm with Nick.
The Three Little Pigs.
Yeah, the Three Little Pigs. Remember they act like the grandma.
Yeah, yeah. When the fox act like the grandma had the bonnet with everything.
And that is, she was in the bed, and I'm like, I do feel that way. So I wasn't mad at Monique. Y'all remember that thing went viral when Monique was like, my sweeties? I wasn't mad. And to me, I think she did have a responsibility. She got the platform to talk to.
Yes, she do.
Talk to them and say, okay, this is not what you want to do. Because even like with the Walmart, everybody just want to go out in pajamas. What happened? And I understand you're comfortable, but my thing, pajamas are for bed. And I'm going to be like grossed out if somebody I know sat there and went to Walmart with these pajamas on and thought you was going to climb into my clean linen with them same pajamas on. Absolutely not. That's dirt. You're dirty. And that's the thought that I have.
I think that's the impression people take away from that, is that these are dirty people, you know, the unwashed masses. Because if you go to like nicer places like Trader Joe's or Whole Foods,
okay,
or even like Giant Eagle, like people don't dress like that. Sorry.
And you know what? And Walmart was pegged for it. Because I guess that was like, is that the pajama club? Like, I felt like, am I overdressed? Like, should I not be here?
I was feeling overdressed. Because y'all know I wear skirts and dresses. I go into Walmart, I'm looking like the queen up there. Because I got clothes on.
No autographs, please. No autographs. Not now, please. But there was a video that went viral where she was passing out politicians' literature. Did you see that? And she went to one. It went viral, so you guys can look it up. And I won't say the politician's name, but anyway, when she went to put it on the door, they had like one of those rings. So she put it up on their doorknob, and then she backed up, and then they opened the door, and she said, "Can we have your vote?" You know, and that's what she was talking about. And what she was supposed to do, she did very well. And then the man said, "Absolutely not," because he didn't like the politician. And she started laughing, so that's why it went viral. And then she said, "Okay, thank you, sir." She was like, "It's a job." So clearly she wasn't for that particular politician. But she was getting paid $22 an hour, 6 hours a day, 7 days a week. They fired her. And I know if I'm like asking you to pass out my literature and you're not for it, but she did her job. She just laughed. And you're not for it, I would fire you too. Do you feel like they were wrong by terminating her?
Not at all. When you are, I feel like politicians are like small businesses.
Okay.
If you're a small business, you have to have people that are for you, that are going to ride for you.
Right.
And obviously, you know, so much communication is nonverbal. So her laughing just eliminated everything, the script that she stated. So, and a lot of people, especially people in sales, understand that it's not, you know, the script, it's the energy, it's the vibe, it's the aura. You know what I'm saying? You have to know how to read people and communicate and, you know, identify their weaknesses or their strengths or whatever so that you can close the sale. Mm-hmm. That's really basically what she's doing, is trying to close sales on boats. So I would definitely support her being fired.
Okay.
It's what it is.
All right, she's out. But $22 an hour to pass out some literature? Sign me up.
Okay. But it's hot. You know, I don't like walking.
But it's exercise.
That's true.
You got to look at the positive. It's exercise, but like, okay, 6 hours a day. How many miles do you walk? Get yourself a Fitbit or something, and then you look at that and be like, oh, okay, boom, I did 2 miles, so it was a win-win. I got paid to exercise.
Very true. Very true.
Like, and $22 an hour, that's above minimum wage.
Well, yeah.
I'm just gonna go to the car and laugh. But here's the thing: their ring that they had, it still was recording. You could hear her in the vehicle. I was like, man, that's a serious ring. So my point in bringing that up is just because, like, if you see somebody standing out at the polls with literature, that's a job. Just like she said, gotta have a job. And it doesn't mean that they actually support the person, but that's the facade that they want you to believe. But just know that. So that's why I was like, okay, people need to really understand that when people, hand out that literature, don't give it to them. You know how they be like, oh, okay, I can't believe you're going, and then they want to argue with you. You in your mind, you say that's a job. So you maintain professionalism. But just know that everybody isn't for what they're doing.
Right. And that reminds me of the poll workers that got harassed by Trump. Like, it was a job for them and they're trying to do their civic duty. And people are coming at them like so passionate and death threats and stuff. And it's just like, I need to get paid. Like,
right. I don't even know what this person does. Because that happens a lot. They're like, who is this person? Oh, I don't know. Here you go. They're running for school board. Just keep to your line, but maintain professionalism. And I think that's where we are losing ourselves. You get complacent and comfortable. And I talked about on Be Inspired. You got that saying. What's that saying, Nick? If it ain't broke, what?
Don't fix it.
Well, they got a new one now that Amber D probably already know. If it ain't broke, break it. How about that? Watch this. And I understood it. I was like, I got to see what's going on, and I understood it after reading this book or skimming over his book, which is called If It Ain't Broke, Break It. And this book has different unconventional wisdom. So if you look at, like, if you're at a job, let's say a job, for instance, because this has happened, where you have that person that's been at that job for all those years, and then a new supervisor comes in that may be a little younger. Well, everybody's resenting this younger supervisor because they're shaking up things. If it ain't broke, break it to see your highest potential. People become complacent. People been there for 40, 30, or 40 years, and they know how to build and run, and then professionalism decreases. Why does professionalism decrease? Because they're doing satisfactory work and they're comfortable. But when you come in, some people might have put people there. You following me, Amber, aren't you? Some people might be put there to rid that bad apple. Because if you get a rotten apple on a tree, that rotten apple could touch another rotten apple, then the whole tree ain't no good. So when you see people that have been at a job for a long period of time, and then that young person coming in, don't resent them. They probably was sent.
Yep.
Shake things up, because you do want to see the highest potential. And then we already know we already know that, okay, so we're going to break it to do exactly what we're doing right now. After you see that didn't work and then come back full circle. Yeah. Because I feel that way even with computers, honestly. I do. I'm like, okay, now we're into the computer. Y'all want to scan the paperwork in and no more paper. And then what happens? Almost like money. You got these people in the computer, your money in the computer. At the bank, you see it online. Somebody wipe it out or the computer shut down. Where your money? How can I purchase? You know what I mean? So that's my thing when it comes to paper. I'd be like, oh, I need my medical records printed. I need to have them on me. You can have them there, but I need to have them on me, because if your company or whoever decides to get upset, if you go with another company in the computer and sabotage, I got my stuff.
Right.
Now let's talk about this colorism. I was listening to the colorism. I seen on different shows where they try to highlight colorism. I just wanted to bring it to the forefront. Colorism in the same race. Amber D and I was talking about like tribes. Like, remember we were talking about that part of it? Mm-hmm. It's interesting. I want to ask Nick this about colorism. Nick with the light eyes. Nick the voice with the light eyes. Did you experience being called a colorist or colorism because your eyes are light and your skin is light? I want to know your experience.
More so with the skin. Yeah, I'm always being called red bone, white woman. Sometimes, because when I was born, believe it or not, the older I got, the darker I got. I was light, bright, damn near white, put it that way, when I was born. And both of my parents were, brown skin. So, yeah. But,
did you experience?
These were bought.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, you can't tell because I've been.
Well, I appreciate you being honest.
For about, let me see, for about 30 years now.
See, that's why I don't. Well, okay then. When they first came out.
Yeah, nah.
When they first.
I do have some cousins that were born that way, but nah, I wasn't. I was just the white girl in the family, I guess.
Okay,
so,
I'm glad.
Within my own family, sometimes we all make a joke of each other, play around playfully, but But I want to talk true colorism though, not with your family. No, yeah.
Just like, have you experienced it?
Yeah. I've been told you ain't black. You
not being black enough.
At my skin, like I'm not what.
Okay,
you hear how I'm talking.
Amber D,
me I'm not black.
Look at her talking about her talking, because it's a lot of people that speak proper diction. It's our tones.
Yes.
It's our tones. But Amber D, I want to ask you about colorism. Have you experienced any colorism?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like within the Black community, more lighter skinned people tend to benefit from colorism, but in the Black community, but I know in other cultures, like a lot of Asian cultures, if you're darker skinned, it's frowned upon. So it's like a spectrum, a continuum where.
But I want to talk about in the Black community.
In the Black community, but so yeah, no, I wouldn't say. I mean, I would say I've experienced the positives of colorism within the Black community. Yeah.
And see, I felt the same way. It seems that having a conversation with someone who had a darker tone, they were talking about the colorism issue. And that's why I said I needed to bring it up. And then one friend, she's lighter, and she has a grandchild that's darker. And she said she never knew that she suffered from colorism until she saw her grandchild, dark skin. Watch this. I thought it was real deep. And she saw her grandchild was dark skinned, and how will her grandchild be accepted in the community? This was 4 days ago. And I'm looking and I'm thinking like, man, whereas like in my family and most Black families, you have an array of colors that is just, and do you really look at them that way? I don't look at them as far as like skin tone. The most we talked about in our family, honestly, was the inherited gap. I don't have it. But that was inherited, like, on the Rudolph side. It was like, oh, yeah, okay, you were Rudolph. And we would laugh and joke about that as children. But I don't ever remember us talking about, oh, they're darker than us, they're lighter. Everybody was, you were your name. That's what you were. You were your name. So when she brought that out, I was like, man. And I was thinking, and I asked her, I said, well, clearly, you being high yellow, you saw some type of favoritism that you feel that way. You had to have some. She denied it, but you had to have some or have seen something to feel that way. And not that she wouldn't love her grandchild, But it made me wonder, like, oh, okay. But I appreciated her truth. And I was like, man, that got to be kind of hard.
I think that people don't want, whenever people experience, and this is just all human beings, experience privilege, you don't want to take ownership of it. It's uncomfortable to say, oh, I'm experiencing this privilege because of my skin tone, or because of my gender, because I'm a woman, or because I'm a man, or because I'm white, or because I'm an American and I'm in a foreign country and I'm experiencing privilege that someone else isn't getting to experience. But that doesn't mean just because you're uncomfortable with it doesn't mean it's not happening, you know? And as far as like the dark versus light, I feel like it's more subtle now. As far as I think, especially with like featureism, which is, I think, rooted in like Eurocentrism, you know, having lighter eyes, having lighter skin, having looser texture hair, you know, stuff like that. And I feel like I can remember those types of comments, or make sure you stay out the sun so you don't get too dark. Comments like that. That's rooted in colorism. Like, we black. I mean, now I'm stay out the sun because I don't want to get wrinkles. But, you know, right? Like, the reasons change. But, yeah, I definitely remember hearing that.
Now, let me take you this way. Like I said, we talked about earlier where I was watching the show and they were talking about the babies, Blue Ivy, and how she looked, the baby's hair. Yeah, it's disgusting. These are babies.
Disgusting.
And then allegedly Lisa Ray said, even though I heard it, but I'm covering myself, she was talking about Bella and she said, well, her hair's not nappy. Well, people are coming down on Lisa Ray because she said what, nappy?
Yeah.
And then
it was just on it. She sounded like a minstrel coon that just came off the plantation. That's what the mentality. Do you think so? She sounded so ignorant to me. I was disgusted.
I was ignorant. Okay, 1 second. I was listening to I was reading the comments actually. And it was crazy because we'll go back to where Nick was talking about. It was crazy because they was like, yeah, she light skinned with those green eyes. Like, she can't say the word nappy. And she's black. Like Nick was saying, not being black enough. So you can't speak on it. Right. And how many light skinned people have, like the baby, have nappy hair? Right. And I think that, again, it goes back to that colorism where it's like, oh, because I felt like she was saying, yeah, they're dark skinned, which is negative, but it's balanced out because she has finer textured hair. I was like, you ignorant. Because dark skin is a negative. That's the start. And then she said, oh, but their hair is not nappy. So it's like balanced, or she's still cute, or like she's good because she has fine hair, even though she's dark skinned, because dark skin is inherently a bad thing that you have to compensate for with her fine textured hair. Nah. See, I'm okay, so you got a problem with what Lisa Ray said? Yes. It was very common, especially older black women, not even surprised. And then it was just like, to me, it was tone deaf. But I feel like there's a lot of light-skinned black people that are tone deaf around this particular issue. It was just in poor taste. And yeah, like I said, it was presented as though, of course, being dark-skinned is bad, but she has fine hair, so it's okay. So it's like, so she's still cute type thing. I was like, ugh. Now, when you say tone deaf, here's my thing with that. If you haven't experienced it, if my experiences aren't the same as yours, why are you coming down on me because I didn't experience that? And that's what's happening, that, with everything. It's like, that's not the same experience I share. So you can't argue with me, or because I ain't gonna argue with you, about my experience. Right. You can share your experience big time. Always do that. Share your experience, but don't get upset with me because I didn't have those experiences, because I'm light skinned, because I have green eyes. You know what I mean? She didn't. And it makes you wonder. And here's the bigger question. Are you upset because you wanted this? Or are you really speaking from a genuine place? Did you feel as though that was beautiful? So you're coming down on me because you have clearly, and I'm just speaking because I want to know, there's something about this person. I'm just going to use me as an example because it's easier to, describe. So you're like, oh, okay, well, I always wanted to be brown. I'm brown. I didn't want to be this dark. So then you condemn me and beat me and tear down my self-esteem because you are darker than me. That's still not okay. And I'm like, what's the problem here? Like, you know what I mean? And even though, like you said, with her, Lisa saying that, she's still black. And she recognizes it. And you can hear in her tones that she's black, the way that she speaks. And it's like, okay. And when I was reading those comments, they was giving it to her. They were giving it to her. But here's the thing. They were giving it to her. The attacks weren't what she said. The attacks was like if somebody darker would have said it, it seems as if it would have been acceptable. But they were attacking her. And it was like, well, you light skinned with green eyes and pretty much you're not black enough to have an opinion on this. And I just feel like when I hear that and I see it, I always, I'm a people watcher. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching like, oh, this is interesting. Like when I got attacked. Remember when I got attacked because I didn't see nothing. I got attacked because I didn't see anything wrong with what Chris Rock said. Uh-huh. I was like, I didn't think it was a bad joke. I thought, and I looked at it because of my view. I looked at him comparing her to G.I. Jane. That was a positive for me. And then I got hammered on the Twitters. The Twitters got me. And the Twitters went in on me. And watch this. They went in on me. They didn't attack what I said. They attacked my looks. That I didn't go and be like, and buy the hair. You know what I'm saying? Or just was like, okay, this is how I want to make it. Remember, it was like, oh, that's easy for you to say. They told me I wasn't even black. That's what they told me. And then some guy came on, was like, if you look at her picture, you could clearly see she's black. And then they looked so far into see if my hair was mine. That's because you have long hair. How do you know? The man looked and was like, listen, they look so hard, they see my gray hair. I said, I'm so glad that I am not that person that really be like, oh, okay, I care what you say. I really don't.
But you can't be. Not in this age. Not have your real pictures up. That's what people do is put catfish. Do the catfish.
Oh, yeah. But the thing is, and they felt like, okay, you can't speak on that. And they were talking about the hair thing. And I get it. It looks pretty. And you do what you want. You cut it off. You do what you want. But why attack someone off of something that they can't help? So now you're attacking them the way that they look. And they came out like that. To me, I feel it's the same way as your racist people. We walk out the door. And when they started that mess with the gay is the new black or black is the new gay or something, they said, do you remember that whole mess? Oh, yeah, I lost it on that. Yeah. No, you got to tell somebody your sexuality. We walk out. There you go. We walk out the door and you just dislike me because of the way that I look. So if you feel like you have an issue in dealing with colorism, why would you mirror that to the next person because they don't look like you? Mm-hmm. That's where I was at with the whole colorism thing and people trying to argue with people who haven't experienced that. Like all three of us, people liked us for who we were, who we are. They knew. And then, like I said, especially in my family, you go from white to black, like the for real dark. Like, I didn't see that. Mm-hmm. I didn't experience that. So you can't be upset and attack somebody for what they did not experience. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, come on, we got to do something. We got to do something better. Black people.
Mm-hmm. I think it comes down to empathy. I just you know, you have like white people who were allies for the civil rights movement. Like just because you personally haven't experienced something doesn't mean A, it doesn't exist, or B, that you can't empathize with whatever experience that they're going through or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because in one situation you could be experiencing privilege, and then in another situation or environment you're being discriminated against, and sometimes it's for the exact same thing. So it just depends on what group you're in.
An attack is an attack.
Yeah.
So how do you think how should we stop this thing?
Empathy. It's love. It all comes down to love. I'm big on the love.
Big on the love.
I'm big on the love.
The love.
Just, you know, kindergarten, you know, I deal with the little peoples and just, you know, kindergarten level social skills and interactions. Like, oh, did you say something and you hurt little Billy's feelings? Well, that's not, I mean, did you want to hurt Billy's feelings? Okay, well, you know, apologize. And now you didn't know that you said, well, that's okay, because sometimes you say stuff you don't know it's going to hurt somebody's feelings. You know, now you know, and do better moving forward. You know, it's just simple stuff.
All right, well, let's talk about this situation. I guess Cardi B was doing like a concert or something, and the people was touching her. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But guess what? That's happening because remember what happened with Dave Chappelle? Like people just running up, like boundaries. What's happening to boundaries?
There is none.
That seems like that's the manager or the concert planner, or you know what I'm saying, like the event, or you know, like whoever is like running the operation and the logistics of it, and like setting up this concert site. Because like we talked about barriers and how there's like used to be like a 10-foot gap between the stage and the audience. An
actual barrier.
Or
yeah.
Right, a physical barrier. So that's what that sounds like to me, like just poor execution as far as logistics.
Okay. How do you feel about people touching your hair that you don't know?
I think it's very offensive. It's offensive, and most people's hands are dirtier than their behinds. Science, guys, it's science. So people's hands are quite dirty, and that's why when you're sharing food or doing something, it's customary to wash your hands immediately before doing it. Not like, oh, I washed my hands 2 hours ago. No, you gotta do it again.
Okay. No, but let's stay on the hair.
Yeah, it's very disrespectful.
Boundaries. Mm-hmm. We don't have to put a physical barrier around you.
That's true. Very true.
You know, so why, like, what vibes are we giving now that we feel like people can touch us, especially after we had the COVID? Remember, thought you could touch it. You know, it was contagious, you know. Yeah. So now you want to touch me? Like,
I remember being a little girl watching Michael Jackson concerts, and I remember the audience was like ripping at his clothes and grabbing on him and stuff. And so I think it goes with like celebrity, you know, they just want to touch you, you know what I'm saying? Like the hem of Jesus or something, but like that's what I think of. I think that's a big part of it, is they just want to touch these people that they admire so much. Because I feel like also in an audience, crowd, concert setting, the people that are like the most passionate are right at the front. So,
I mean, do you think it's entitlement since they paid top dollar for their ticket or something?
Oh,
help it make sense. Nick, what about you? Are you okay with people? Because you know how they say don't touch a black woman's hair. Is that a myth or not?
You better not touch my hair. And I've had to grab the hands many a day. Even with our own people. Especially after you get your hair done, don't touch my hair. But I have like our Caucasian people, when I'm not wearing a wig or a weave and I'm wearing my own hair, because I have very fine hair, and you know, they want to touch it because they're used to most black people having nappy hair. So when they see a black person with good hair, oh my God, your hair is so beautiful, can I? And I've had some.
Well, okay, so they asked you. They asked you.
They'll ask, can I touch your hair? And no, you can't. Please don't touch my hair. No.
Okay.
But you have, you know, our people that are, oh, your hair's so pretty, want to, and I can grab that hand real quick. If you don't want me to break it, please don't touch.
I don't understand where the boldness comes from, like, because that's a thing. Don't touch my hair.
I think a lot of people don't. I think people have different levels of like sanitariness kind of thing. And I feel like a lot of people don't believe or understand or don't know that your hands are really dirty. They're dirty.
Now I believe that. Don't touch my face.
Oh,
Right,
Don't-
exactly.
don't-
Like if you don't want acne, don't touch your face. Like
Yes.
I think that, and then some people, what are they called? Space invaders. You know, some people.
I like that. Yes, a space invader for real.
They're handsy. They're very touchy. They're big on hugs and things like that. So I think it kind of varies person to person, just for different reasons. But yeah, the hair thing, especially being black, having locks, I'm like.
You smack.
You know, because I feel like I do get a lot of questions about my hair and stuff, so I'm really open about it. I love locks. I encourage other people to lock their hair up, you know. But and then if we're having like a whole conversation, then yeah, they can touch it or whatever. But yeah, asking definitely. But I've had people, especially before I locked my hair, I had a big afro, and yeah, the hands thing is just, I feel like it's like racial too, frankly. It's a racial thing. I did see a meme or a post, and it was a white guy. He said, I'm white, I'm getting sick of white people embarrassing.
Go ahead.
Petting zoo. It's not that hard to keep your hands to
What you say, like a petting zoo? Right. Like, hello, this is not a petting zoo.
Kindergarten.
Yeah.
Don't just be touching on people. Don't do it.
So you had an afro, but everybody knows this. If you got an afro, don't touch the afro. Like,
Definitely
I don't care what color you are. You don't want to mess up that form.
Right, because it's gonna leave a dent.
Yes. But I love that analogy. You're right. This ain't no petting zoo. Like, get out of here.
Yeah, come on. It's kindergarten, guys. Kindergarten.
But I know before people would ask you, is it okay? It was like manners. Like, what's happening? They're just like, boom, I'm going ahead and handle that. I'll never forget. It was at a club in San Diego, and me and my homegirl was there. This guy came up. I don't even know if she remembers it. It was so freaking funny, though. This guy comes up to her, and she had a bang. And it was her. This is way back, okay? Like, over 20 years ago. He comes up, and he went like this. To her bang. We, like, just rubbed it down to her bang.
Was it poofed up?
No, it wasn't poofed up or nothing. I don't know. Let me tell you.
Want to come and do your?
He just did that.
Me.
And it was like, listen, it was like a petting, like patting a dog or something. But let me tell you what was crazy. He had came and done it so fast that now I don't drink, so I got my cranberry and orange juice. That's why I be in the bathroom all the time, Nick. I got to pee every 5 minutes. Okay. I was not drunk. He did it so fast that I was like, and she was stuck too. Like he just came up, he just came up, walked over to her, boom, boom, and walked away. It wasn't, and she was like, "Was my bang messed up? Who is that?"
Right.
Didn't even
That's
know
my
the
first
guy.
thought.
Like, that was so weird. That was so weird. And then now you look at it, fast forward to today, you'll be like, oh, I'm about to wash my hair. I don't know if it put some roots on it or what. You know what I'm saying?
That's the first thing.
Did that come in your mind?
Coming out of nowhere, touching you, just doing it, and then walking away.
Yeah.
That's when you break out the holy oil.
Right.
Yeah, be like,
And
what?
that's when you say, I bind the devil to the pits of hell.
In the name of Jesus, yeah, we don't want no
You don't know this
negativity.
person, and they just come. You don't see them, and they just come out of nowhere, touch you, and then walk away. That is definitely indicative of somebody putting roots on you.
I have the story though.
Go ahead.
So, my husband used to pet me like a dog, and when he first did it, I was like, "The hell? Like you disrespecting me?" And
Right.
I love you.
Wait. Okay, I'm gonna let you repeat that for the listening audience, okay? Because I know I didn't interrupted it. Wait. You gotta set up the stage. So, okay. So your husband, who's now passed on, was he black? Yes or no?
No.
Okay. Now, so he used to pet you, and you said what? Wait, the first time he petted you, go ahead.
What you trying to do? I said, what is this? I got offended. I said, no.
Right.
I just want to love on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just, I just want to caress you and all this stuff. Like, and so in his culture, they don't mess with dogs like Americans. Like, dogs are animals. They're wild animals. They're outside. You know what I'm saying? They don't have dogs as pets.
Okay.
So they don't do pets or animals in the house in general. So petting is something you would do to a baby or a toddler.
That's a rub.
Right, it's a paternal, it's a parental thing. You're showing affection the same way you show a dog affection, but it's to children because they don't mess with animals at all. Okay. My husband came from a Muslim culture, predominantly Muslim culture, and so it took a while for me to believe that because I'm American and we have so many dogs. Dogs are a part of our culture, and that in my own upbringing we had dogs. So in my mind, petting is reserved for animals. You pet animals. Okay, you know what I'm saying? You don't pet your partner, right? But in their culture, dogs aren't a part of the equation at all. There's no animals, no cats, no nothing. It's just humans. So petting is for children and for little people when you want to show them affection. And she was like, no, I'm just trying to show you affection. Look, that's what you do. Like, just go a little pat. I was like,
Wait. Because pet and a rub is two different things.
A pet, it was a rub then.
So this right here
is a pet.
That's a pet.
That's a pet.
But when it's on the dog, you pet your dog.
To me, a pet is like this.
That's a rub.
Right, okay, but so he would do this, he would rub my head, he rubbed my face.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? But I felt like I was getting patted like a dog.
Okay,
You pat a dog's head and then you...
And you can rub your head. Okay, I can see that.
He would always rub my head, right, to show affection. But I was like, no, I felt like a dog. So I was throw that in. It could be a cultural thing. It could be a upbringing thing. Because like I said, I grew up with dogs. So to me, any type of head touching is for an animal. You're just like, oh.
Okay, so is it different? And I just want to ask you, ladies, is it different if a black person comes up and touches your hair versus a white person coming up touching your hair?
It's still uncomfortable, but I would be more tolerant because I feel like when black people approach me about my hair, it's education. They want to learn something. They want knowledge. They want to know what products I use. You know what I'm saying? Like they're trying to, you know what I'm saying? It's not like fetishizing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, or like black person, they'll touch you. Oh, your hair is so pretty. Who did it? Or like you said, they'll ask, "What do you have in your hair?" or something like that. And then they'll ask the question because I'm looking for something, but.
So for a black person, when they come and touch your hair, it's for educational purposes.
Usually.
Okay. Is it not for educational purposes if somebody is white and touch your hair?
We don't have the same hair texture. We wouldn't use the same hair products. So I feel like it's more fetishizing and like circus sideshow type vibe. Like, oh, an oddity of nature. Let me go pet it. You know what I'm saying? Like seriously. So that we about to have some real problems. But usually when it's a black person, it's usually like, oh, what products do you use? Like, how long have you been locked? Like, how do you wash your hair? Like your grid, all those kinds of questions. Like, is it heavy? Like really trying to gather information.
Black folks want to know, do you got a perm versus is this natural? Things like that, yeah.
Okay, so somebody Caucasian, you don't think that they would want to know, like, how do you get your hair like this? Okay. Do I have cricket sound effects?
Let Nick answer.
Look, do I have cricket sound effects? I gotta find one. Hold on, let me find. Okay, or did I cross?
Yeah, but that would be educational. That would be, they're not used to seeing with touching somebody with locks. It's more like you said, a fetish thing with them.
Okay.
Like they still see us as some of them now, not all.
Okay.
See us as objects.
We're speaking generally.
Generally, you know how they treated us back in that day, and we were more of objects to them.
Okay. So a white person, black person come up and they both ask the same question. Can I touch your hair? What would you say? Would they get
point? No. What you want to touch my hair for?
Okay. So for both, you're gonna be like no.
No.
Okay, so you ain't gonna discriminate, Nick.
Huh?
You're not gonna discriminate in their face.
Who?
Somebody white can't. No, you can't. Did somebody black?
Smart mouth. I'll be like, only if I could touch yours. Can I touch yours?
Okay, so you and guess what? Most will be like, sure.
And then if they're okay with it, both sides, black and white, if they're okay with it, then you can touch my hair. But if I can't touch yours, you can't touch mine.
I feel like a lot of men don't, especially if they got the waves going on. Better not touch his hair.
You better not touch their hair when they got waves. Now that is a fight.
Look, dudes, it don't matter what color you are, huh? Don't touch my hair.
Right.
I'd have been married to 3 of them with good hair that get busted waves, and even if I touch the hair, it'd be a fight. Why you touching my hair, man? You messing up my waves, man. So yeah.
Yeah, but listen, it's a technique though. You know it's a technique. You got to go in the direction of the waves. You got people that might go the opposite way, go against the grain. Then that's a problem.
It'd be a fight. I'm telling you, don't even rub this way. Just don't even rub it. Don't touch it.
We're just like, don't touch it.
Don't touch it unless it's the intimate time, and then that's when they real soft and mellow. Then they don't care. Then you can just walking up and be like, hey, baby, just run your head. Don't you touch a black man's hair when they got them waves in it. Now, the ones with the locks, they don't care if you mess it. But a man who got the haircut, they done got to train their waves, because you know they got to train them. Train them. You touch that head if you want to. It's a fight. I'm telling you.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
Don't touch your hair. Don't touch your hair. Just leave the folks' hair alone and everybody be happy.
Alone, please. Just don't touch it. Don't even ask to touch it, because they're going to tell you hell no.
But the women will let you touch their hair if you ask nicely.
If you ask nicely, but only if I could touch yours.
Okay. I think that's fair. And I don't think people have a problem with it, because they about to wash as soon as they go home anyway.
Anyway, right.
Every day. Like we take, we got a little bit of time between hours. Now, I just want to, I want to touch base on this, and then we're going to go ahead and get up out of here. Derek, Chauvin, the one that murdered George Floyd.
He should have got more than 20.
Now, watch this. He went before the court for another case in that, against George Floyd's civil rights, this particular one. So you got another case. And it was, I think he had a 21-year sentence. So the first case, it was, 20 to life or something. And then now this one, I think, was 21 years. They're allowing him not separate. So that's not 41 years, people. They're saying he's going to do his jail time consecutively on both charges, a different charge.
You mean not consecutively, but simultaneously?
Simultaneously, sorry. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
But they always want to do them.
So what's your thoughts on that?
Complexion for protection. He's getting that because of his complexion. It's been documented that even when they're the exact same crime, exact same situation, they will get shorter sentences or more lenient sentences.
So you have, I just saw a picture of Boosie Baddy, the one that was crying because R. Kelly got 30 years. Somebody gave my man 30 years.
Sit your butt down and have some. Right.
But he has another charge that he's going before the judge, just like Chauvin. Do you think he's going to be able to do his simultaneously? Or is it going to be consecutive?
I think he has more charges because there's more victims.
Yeah, but he has, I can't remember what the charge is in Chicago that he still has to face after this 30 years. So they're just going to, he's going to have to do it consecutively. So you're going to have to add on.
Right.
Versus somebody who murdered somebody in our faces.
Yeah.
And boom.
I don't think Chauvin gonna live to see no.
He only got 20 years.
And then somebody gonna do something to that man in jail.
After they find out about he gets to do all his charges at one time.
At the same time, yeah. Somebody gonna do something to that man. They waiting on him to come in.
I feel like because R. Kelly victimized young black girls, I just don't care. Sorry.
Oh,
bye, R. Kelly. So
right.
Too bad for you.
Sorry for you. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Go ahead, Nick. And I'll tell you
I can't take nothing away from him musically because he was a musical genius, but I just have not listened to any of his songs the same. Because anytime I try to get into some of my old jams, I just think of him actually singing and sexualizing a child, and I just
can't. Me too. Because at first I was still listening to his music because he has so many hits. But as time went on and I started hearing more details and stuff, I was like,
it was the same. It wasn't the same.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, Bumper Grind with a little kid. And I'm not justifying. I'm not siding with R. Kelly. I still have to say, these parents knew where their children were.
Prostitution.
They knew where they were. It wasn't like, boom, you done sat there, I got you, I'm holding yours hostage. And they were able to leave. And I know he got their mind. I got it. I do. And they were able to leave, but they wouldn't leave. And it's like, because they wanted their career. I'm like,
the parents that took their child there,
they should be charged.
Should be charged. They knew
they should be charged.
What this man was accused of prior, so they should be charged. Because ain't no way in hell I'm gonna take my child somewhere to somebody to help their music career. Oh, you gotta leave him with me, and you can't be in the studio. And I tell them the devil is a lie.
Yeah,
the devil is a lie.
All right, let's talk.
There's already laws on the books for that because people do prostitute their children. It does happen,
and that should be an issue. Let me hurry up and get to Timothy Loman, the officer who killed Tamir Rice. Y'all remember him? Mm-hmm. I want to say it was in 2014. Mm-hmm. He killed him. Well, guess what? He went to a little small town in Pennsylvania and was a new hire as a police officer. Do you remember a show we did? It was some time ago where it was like, okay, this happens. And then once they get fired from that one, they can go to another one. But he wasn't found guilty. But still, you can go to another town and be a police officer. Well, that's what happened. Yep. Sworn in and everything.
Ooh, please, black people of that town, if you are listening, leave. Guard your children or just leave.
Guess what? The community have spoken. He done resigned 2 days later. The community and the mayor was like,
Power of the people.
Power of the people. So he, Tioga, that was the town. Yeah, he sat there and was like, never mind, because he knew he was going to have a hard time. Mm-hmm. And guess what was good about this? His co-workers ain't even want to work with him.
Good. So why did they even hire him then? Why was he even hired? They should have known.
HR.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's totally different. You know, you don't know who you are. Who want to be in the car with the cat that killed Tamir Rice? Like, can you imagine your life in danger every day?
Yeah.
Because, you know what I mean? You'd be like, okay, what's going on? Just like with Walker, the young man in Akron. That whole situation. How do you think it's going to unfold?
They're going to try to dig up some dirt on him if they haven't already.
They said those 60 shots, what was it, like 90 rounds, and he got hit 60 times. They said it was justified.
Well, I wouldn't say that. They're going to protect their own because that's what they're known for. That's what they do. But I think at most it would be excessive.
What is it? Fraternal order of police?
Exactly.
Child, I have them calling all the time. The Fraternal Order of Police, American Police Funding, this is association.
Uh-huh.
They they call, I hang up. My brother be ignorant. He just tell them, hell no. He was like, I'm not funding y'all because y'all kill black people. Click.
Okay. Okay. Don't be putting your brother out there because when they find out do the leg work, they might try to go to this job. You know how the people do. You know how the trollers do. That's why I be like, don't say no name. A cousin.
Oh, they can try all they want to.
But no, I'm telling you. Listen, I'm telling you. You see how the people.
An employer. He does.
There you go. There you go. And don't say his business either, because we don't want them. Look, we don't want nobody coming down on him, because just like we said, Amber said and you said, the power of the people. Mm-hmm. It is the truth. And if we can look at that and say, okay, I'm going to vote. Power of the people. And ladies, please get out there and vote. And if you are not a voter, become one.
Become one, please.
Become one. Become one. Please. So we can have our rights. Y'all can see how they can be turned over. They can be like, oh, we changed our mind. How long this been in place?
I gotta find out where my polling place is.
Definitely do that. Definitely do that. And it's like, come on. Come on. It is. People change their mind. It's like, this is team too much. How you just gonna change your mind like that? Like, this is written. It is written. So we just gonna change our mind and we don't want to do that. No, we're not doing that anymore. That's foul.
Someone said that that the Supreme Court now has been radicalized. Like, it's not conservative, it's radical. And I was like, I think a part of the issue is the verbiage and the language we use around things, and not using that more impactful language so you can understand. It's just some of the cases I've been hearing surrounding abortion and things happening to women and stuff. I mean, it seems radical. It's like a Handmaid's Tale type coming to real life situation.
All right, real quick, Shop Talk question of the week. Is it okay for your man or woman to visit their minor child and sleep at their home? They live out of town. The child lives out of town.
Are we answering next week?
No, answer now. It's already done. This was last week's the Shop Talk question of the week. I want to just revisit it. Come on, anybody. What's your thoughts?
Okay,
Would you?
So I'm assuming that this is their child and
with
the
someone else.
are not together.
They're not together. Someone else, and they live out of town. Is it okay for you to stay at your ex's house? That's it in a nutshell.
No.
You're not okay with it? What about you, Nick?
Oh, the first two knew better to even entertain that thought.
Oh,
this
this
happened.
happened.
Don't have kids, but the first two knew better than to entertain that thought.
Oh, no, we touched one.
Hotel. Hotel.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, we go together.
So okay.
So are we spending the night at the house?
Okay.
Oh, okay, we at the hotel. They knew better than to entertain that thought and even remotely think to ask that question.
Nick, why you being a bully? Why you keep want to fight everybody? What they do to you?
No, I'm just saying, no, that's very disrespectful because women are vindictive, especially baby mamas, when they figured they had that person first. That person should have married them, and they turn around and marry somebody else after you have 1, 2, or 3 kids with them. So that the baby mama gonna do whatever she can.
Okay.
To come in between. Been there, done that too many times. Experienced it too many times. No, it's not okay.
And you know what?
You better not even entertain the thought. Don't even entertain asking me about it. Or no, you gonna wear out of town? We'll see. Okay, when we leave, and let me let my job know.
Okay.
I mean, I was gonna add on to what Nick was saying, and sometimes the baby mom don't even want the baby daddy back. They just want the baby daddy to ruin his relationship. Like they want him to be miserable, you know?
Exactly.
Right. I was
so, but wouldn't that would be on him though?
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. It's his responsibility.
Men most of the time think with that head and not this one.
I'll take it a step further than Nick. And if my partner were to ask me that, to even ask the question, is going to have me questioning his feelings for me, how much respect he has for our relationship or marriage. Because it's like Nick said, it shouldn't even be asked. I feel like it's indicative of his mindset and what he worried about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number one was ignorant, but the good thing about it was we always had the child with us, so we didn't have to worry about that. When we moved, we went to Pennsylvania and took him back to Kentucky with us. So, but number two, that was never a thought. He was always like, we need to go back to Columbus, down to Georgia, especially when we were going back and forth to court or whatever to get the kids and stuff like that. So it was always we.
Okay. I
need you to take some time off because we need to go.
Okay.
We. So
okay, go ahead, Amber D.
About that.
And that's how I was gonna say. That's how it's supposed to be, because when you're married, you're supposed to be a unit.
Okay.
So it should be a we, and it should be if you're gonna spend the night because of finances or whatever, then it should be we are spending the night at baby mama's house.
But right? What if she's what if the spouse or significant other aren't able to go? Is that a sign of insecurity?
I think this is a sign of financial insecurity, because you should be able to afford a hotel.
Okay.
I mean, come on now. I mean,
right.
That's a problem. You can't afford a hotel, there's a problem. And you have a dependent, you have a child, you pay a child support for? Yeah.
That's probably why they can't afford a hotel.
Hey, they're in control of their genitals.
Exactly. My point. That's where I was trying to get. I was like, if it's a guy, they're going to do what they want to do anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thoughts. And to be stressed out about that, if you want to be there, be there. That's what I said.
That's indicative of his mindset.
Okay.
And then we be on our way to divorce.
Oh.
So.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Because, like I said, it's, symptomatic of where his head is, or what his ability is, or what or just, his whole mind.
Okay.
Like you said, it shouldn't even be asked.
All right. Well, lovely people, that is my time. I thoroughly enjoyed you, as I do each and every single Saturday. Y'all already know what it is, and we'll handle that. So thank you, lovely ladies, and I'll see you next week. All right, let's give it up for the one and only. Y'all already know she ready to fight everybody. Everybody. I'm like, why? What was that? What happened?
People,
how we feeling today?
Mannered, quiet, just didn't bother nobody. Took everybody.
I don't even be thinking.
The older I got, the meaner I got.
Well, you need to go back. Go back and see what happened, and be like, okay.
Being overly nice to people.
No, you continue being you. You don't allow people to change you to what they want you to become. And I understand that they be like, okay, I'm matching energy. That's all well and good. But I ain't that invested in people. Let's just be real. I'm not matching your energy. I'm still going to be who I am. And if you mad, and I'm going to go ahead and leave. But y'all already know Nick, the voice of the community, going to tell it like it is, because we all got one person out there that's going to do what they do. And she ain't going to bite her tongue. She going to tell you.
No.
And don't touch her hair. We got that clear. Look, I'm like, don't. So thank you so much, Nick, the voice. Let's give it up for... That's Nick the voice, y'all. Then let's go, Amber D. Our analysis. Go keep it 100. And I'm going to tell you, listen here, don't think you're going to come pet her hair. Don't come petting her at all. Don't come petting her. She about to be, she an entrepreneur too. So she working, entrepreneuring it. About to have the beverages over there in her backyard. Let's give it up for the analysis. Amber D. Thank you so much, honey bunny. All right, I was giving myself extra cheers. All right, lovely people, you know who you dealing with right now. I'm your girl Mel. Catch us every single Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon on your favorite podcast, okay? And also, like us on all socials, all of them, especially YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Do that. Make sure you subscribe, like, share, comment, We want to hear what you have to say. So find you, embrace you. Oh, today's footnote, y'all almost had me. Today's footnote is coming from none other than our guest, Hannah Ferguson with Dope Cidery and Winery. When we were talking, she said it best. I was like, hey, you are the first. And today's footnote is, but you don't want to be the last. So share your knowledge if you have it. Share it. Keep it alive. All right, lovely people. Find you, embrace you. Most importantly, always, always love you. All right? Until next week, people. You know what it is. Shop Talk every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon.